So what's up guys, it's Finch here. The other day I made a video on why I don't think stall is very good. And admittedly, I don't have a large sample of stalled games because right now stall is not very common on the ladder. And I ladder, every day in the channel and whatnot, but I got one today when I was laddering up for the suspect. He was actually the highest ranked player I played at this point. He was in like the 1600s, I believe, but that's neither here nor there. It's a stall team, and I want to prove something. He has a hard counter to every single Pokemon I have besides Garchomp. And Garchomp has Life Orb. Garchomp cannot beat Dragonite unless A, multi-skill is broken, and B, it's at +2. And on top of that, he has Ditto to Revenge Kill Garchomp, and my Garchomp counterplay is not great either. Because of that, let's break this down. I'm going to go like real in-depth in this game and explain how I beat Stall despite not having a team well prepared for Stall with Toxapex plus Shedinja plus... Well, honestly, just Shedinja, because right now my game plan against Stall is to get Future Sight loops with Pheromosa. However, Future Sight loops with Pheromosa don't work against this team. He's got Shedinja, which completely walls that combination. It's not a throat chop, Pheromosa, and anything like that. I have Choice Specs Aegislash, which if I had Close Combat could be pretty decent here, but I don't have Close Combat. I'm Toxic plus Steel Beam on this team. So, Blissey is going to hard wall the Aegislash. Azumarill is hard walled by the Toxapex. However, if I get a knockoff up with the Future Sight loop, then it can be interesting. But he's got Protect on Heat Channel, get potentially Baneful Bunker on Apex, and he can also scout that out. So, is there a potential hole there to poke? Yes, but when he's Toxic Spikes on the Toxapex and he's got Protect to scout me off, it actually becomes very hard for that opening to happen. And I might only get it once with that Azumarill all game long, if even. And if that happens with Roxanne on the field, he can just go multi-scale Dragonite too. Okay, Slowbro, all it's good for is just passing Future Sights. It's not a threat offensively. So, right now, all I have is Garchomp. Garchomp is the only offensive threat right off the bat, and it takes Life Orb. It needs to break the multi-scale from Dragonite and then get +2 to kill it because it's a physically defensive Dragonite. So, it needs a lot of help to get there. Dragonite, as it stands, is currently a good check because it has heavy duty boost plus multi-scale, and Stone Edge into Stone Edge with multi-scale not broken doesn't kill it because he's defensive, as we see later in the game, and he has Ditto to Revenge Kill it, and it relies on Stone Edge and Life Orb with no recovery. So, all in all, it looks bleak. He has something to wall everything besides one Pokemon, and that Pokemon he could probably minimize to getting one kill. So, here's what I know I do have. I have Slowbro, which is my only Pokemon with longevity besides Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz and Slowbro are my only Pokemon. If they take damage on turn 1, they can heal that off and be at a higher percentage of health in the next turn. For example, if Garchomp is ever at 28%, it's never going to be higher than 28% in this matchup unless he has a Pain Split Pokemon, which I don't see any of them, so yeah. Or Grass Train, which again, he doesn't have. So there's no way my Garchomp's recovering. No way my Aegislash is recovering. No way my Pheromosa is recovering. Same goes for Azumarill. So Mandibuzz in this matchup, while it does have speed and U-turn, it doesn't really force anything in the team out besides Shedinja. So that's not very helpful either. It can defog, but it loses to both hazard setters, being Toxic Heatran and potentially Toxic Spikes, knockoff /Scald/Toxic on the Toxapex. So there's not much going for Mandibuzz. It's just Slowbro as my form of longevity. So this team was not built specifically to beat Stall because of this. It's really just meant to showcase Future Sight plus Azumarill and Future Sight plus Pheromosa, but he has the Shedinja, which can wall that combination largely, the stabs at least. It just only loses to knockoff from the Azumarill. So that, plus the fact that you put it on time with Toxic Spikes and Protect Scout it limits me. So here's what I do here. First off, the biggest part of playing against Stall is looking at their team and saying, okay, what do I think has what? So there are two possible Stealth Rockers. It's Heatran and Blissey. And on top of that, he has only one possible Defogger in Dragonite. So right off the bat, we know it's going to be Heavy Duty Boots plus Defog, probably Multiscale Dragonite, which makes a lot of sense because his team doesn't love Spikes, even if it's a Heavy Duty Boots pack, and you got to knock it off, and it's annoying. And he's got Tran plus Ditto, so yeah. Right off the bat, you know it's a Defog defensive Dragonite. Important, okay? Now, looking at his team, he doesn't have many ways of making direct progress besides potentially Magma Stream Heatran at this point, so probably Toxic Spikes and the Toxapex. Okay, that's worth noting because Toxic Spikes hits Dragonite, it hits Garchomp, Azumarill, and Pheromosa. Those are three Pokemon I really need to win this game. Well, more the latter two. More Garchomp and Azumarill, not Pheromosa, because Pheromosa's walled 2 Talon back. but okay, that's fine. He doesn't know my Pheromosa's it. Maybe he's gonna scout for Throat Chop. I don't know. Um, so at this point, I'm like, okay, so Toxic Specs is very likely, not 100%. Defog Dragonite's confirmed. Stealth Rock on one of Heatran or Blissey, and Ditto is definitely Scarf. That's what I can take away from this team preview. Now, looking at my team, he knows I'm Future Sight Slowbro, and he probably could figure out that I'm a more offensive variant of Azumarill with that because it lures in Toxapex. So he knows that keeping a Shedinja alive is important for Future Sight shenanigans in general, but especially with Pheromosa. And he knows he's got to scout out the Azumarill set to be sure. Now, what do I have opening-wise in this matchup? Well, first off, I want to feel out the sets in the early game without compromising anything. The Pokemon that are most susceptible, the Pokemon I'm willing to be most susceptible to status are Slowbro and Aegislash. Aegislash because it's never ever doing anything. Pheromosa can at least force specific plays I can take advantage of a bit more. For example, he's going to keep going into Shedinja, and that's something I can easily take advantage of by getting rocks up with Garchomp or knockoffs with Azumarill. That's cool. But him going Blissey or Toxapex on Deepex is a bit less easy to abuse, especially if he ends up going Tran. Then Tran can be even annoying to face. So yeah. All in all, I know I can play Slowbro and Aegislash a bit more liberally because of that. So I'm fine using those Pokemon, expending their health and or status ailments in order to make sure I can figure out the information I need to know so I can find a way to break this. I don't have a game plan yet. And it's fine to go into a game without a direct game plan so long as you know what you need and what you don't like this. Right off the bat, he leads attacks. I'm like, okay, I want to get Scald Burn on it, and ideally he can Scald Burn me too so I don't take Toxic Spikes. He goes for a knockoff here, and I'm just going to spam Scald right off the bat. Unfortunately, I'm not going to burn for a long time, if even at all, because, I'm Finch. I don't always get those. He gets his Toxic Spike off to knock him a couple times trying to predict the switches. I keep scalding him down, but it's not actually doing much net damage. 18 crit there, it's cool, but he's still at 75, no burn. I think I'm out for 5 at this point, so I don't get on this turn. He keeps knocking me off, so I'm actually taking more damage than he does, because I've lost my boots, he has Black Sludge. So yeah, I'm at half health here, so that's not amazing, to be completely honest, but I think I can get out of it. I get a Scald in there, and again, just nothing amazing. Here, I get one last Scald in and no burn, so I'm like, okay, I haven't actually gotten any information out of it, and I'm at 20%. I've got to get a Slack off here. He's just all in on a knockoff, but I'm fine. I don't want to risk the next one getting a crit and killing, so I'm fine with that. Ultimately here, I get for another Scald, and I do not get the burn. And I think here he goes to Blissey, like, okay, that's fine with me. And he gets burnt here, which I find kind of fun. I'm like, oh, well, okay, 0 for 9, but then I get 1 on the Natural Cure Pokemon. He goes for Toxic there, so that's fine. Again, I'm fine expending its status because it's going to be in and out. I go Aegislash here, and he's scared of the close combat, so I get a Shadow Ball off. Now, the Shadow Ball crits, but it doesn't quite kill, but this lets me know that it's a max physical defense Toxapex, so that's important. I go Mandibuzz here, and I don't think I'm ready to sacrifice myself to Toxic yet, so I go U-turn. I wish I went G-Fog, though, because it would have opened things up. But anyway, I go back to Aegislash here, and now I just go right back to Mandibuzz, and I think I catch a Dragonite. No, actually, I go for Shadow Ball here, and it was a safe play. And I do 32 there, which means he's got a max HP Dragonite, but not very specially defensive. I go Defog here. I'm fine trading for the Toxic, and he overpredicts and goes for Shadow Ball, which means he's prepared for Spectro, which makes a lot of sense. I U-turn now, and I get the Slowbro in here on the Toxic, and I'm fine to sit there all day. Here, I think I go Future Sight into Teleport, but I might just Teleport. Yeah, Future Sight first, then I Teleport here, knowing that you need a max damage crit to kill me. Or a high roll crit to kill me, so I Teleport into Pheromosa. I'm like, okay, he has to go to the Shedinja. So we baited the sequence that I alluded to before, and that he is able to wall Pheromosa plus Future Sight. One of the few Pokemon in the whole game to do that is the Shedinja. And that's fine with me. I go Garchomp now, and Garchomp can kill this with one Stone Edge or Fire Move. He doesn't know what I have, and if he does any damage to me besides Will-O-Wisp, then he's taking Rough Skin. So he at worst goes for a Will-O-Wisp here, which would still be very bad because I couldn't break Chomp. But he's scared of Fire Move or Rock Move, whereas I don't want to take Life Orb, so I'm gonna go for the Rock here, just get them up. He goes Dragonite, and I get the Rocks up. And this is important because before I was able to break that multi-scale by forcing him to scout with the Aegislash because he was still scared of close combo with the Blissey. So as I said, Aegislash was the most expendable Pokemon, but while it didn't get any kill, it didn't even get a 2 kill. It forcing the 32% chip on this Dragonite was an opening. Not only did it give me information about the sets of his team, but it gave me an opening. And it let me know that this Blissey had Toxic plus Shadow Ball, which meant it probably wasn't Rocks. It probably meant Heatran was Rocks by process of elimination. So that was important too. Now here I'm like, yo, Stone Edge is just going to kill easy, but it doesn't. this is what I'm saying about the Dragonite that I alluded to before. He goes for defense, but wait, he's at 8%. And here I'm like, you know what? Rocks up in a long turn is huge for me. I don't think he's Ice Beam, and even then, given how defensive it is, I actually probably live that. So the only way he kills me is if he's like outraged and like trades, and that's fine because Rock stepped the whole game then. I'm fine with that trade because of that. So I go for Rocks here, and he actually goes Pex. And now this is a big turn here. I know for a fact that Earthquake is very unlikely to kill, but I also know that he's revealed knockoff with Toxic Spikes, and he's almost definitely going to be Haze. So he can't actually Scald Burn me. He probably can't Toxic me. So what's he going to do? Honestly, I think that he misplayed here. I think his play should have been to go hard Blissey on the rocks and go for a Toxic, but he probably was expecting Stone Edge. And Stone Edge and Earthquake would leave Blissey very low. So maybe he should have just fired off Dragonite, or maybe just not defogged into me. But this is the big thing here. I'm fine just clicking Earthquake because I've got Rough Skin, and it will put him in Rough Skin range. So he lets go to Pex. He loses Pex here. Now Pex, honestly, in this matchup, it actually doesn't do much for him besides let Toxic Spikes up because Shedinja walls everything Pex walls, i.e. Pheromosa and Azumarill. But now that I've forced this with my Garchomp, which, as I said before, getting rocks and a kill is all I need out of it, and this is evidence of that. Because now I can spam Knock with Azumarill. His Knock resist, already non-existent, now completely gone. Beforehand, at least, Choice Banded Knockoff would not even come close to it killing Toxapex. But now he's got absolutely nothing to take that. So now I have a game plan. I have rocks up so I could continue to press on forward. His Dragonite's low, so defogging that away is hard, and his Pex is gone, so Choice Band Knockoff from Azumarill is great. Now it looks more clear-cut. If you go back 25 turns and look at turn 1, you're like, wait, how do I break this? But if you go forward 25 turns, you realize that all of a sudden this is a huge path. In 25 turns, I'm sorry, but if that is too long of a game for you, then you're just playing the wrong game. I hate to break it to you, because this is pretty brief. So, did my opponent play optimally? I think he actually played optimally all but the Dragonite sequence, and that definitely helped me, but also, you realize that once I'm doing over half with Stone Edge, as long as I don't get unlucky, I'm able to retain Stealth Rock and a Long Haul in that sequence. Now, he could have tried to go Ditto on the Stone Edge, and that would have pressed my hand a little bit more. I would not have gotten a kill on Toxics, for example, but he wanted to preserve Ditto to try and, snowball out of control, and revenge kill the Garchomp later on, which makes sense, and he does just that here. But also, because of the position I'm in, I'm okay to afford the luxury of trading Earthquakes to make sure he doesn't get cute and try to go for Stealth Rocker, over-predict and somebody's in double out. So I get an Earthquake up there, and that's fine. I think I just preserve myself here. He goes Dragon as I go Mandibuzz, and I should have foul played here. I knew it was quicker because of the Stone Edge Junk, so Lily had to be a ton of defense, but I didn't think it through and I U-turn. This is a mistake on my end, but that's still fine. I retain momentum. I go Garchomp here, and if he defogs, I could just set up rocks, and that's fine, except for Roost, I'd kill him with Stone Edge, but even better, he doesn't actually defog, he Roosts up, which is good for me because now I can go Azumarill here, knowing that he's kind of forced to switch out and start spamming knockoff. And he goes Shedinja, and I get that knockoff kill, and all of a sudden, the game looks completely over. So, in conclusion, as the game kind of winds down, I'll go through the game, then I'll conclude. How about that? Knockoff 2 kills Heatran after Stealth Rock. Then he goes to Azumarill to try and Ditto me. He Aqua Jets for, this point the game is over. And I just teleport out, and now Pheromosa can win the game with, U-turn here, and then eventually you could triple axle this, but also I wouldn't even have to risk that to preserve 6-0. I got Mandibuzz in the back, I got Azumarill in the back, etc. So yeah, but in conclusion, if you don't panic when you see stall at team preview, and you say, okay, these are the Pokemon I clearly need, these are the Pokemon I do not necessarily need, so I could play them in a bit more risky fashion, so I could scout out his sets, figure out what they have in their team like you do in any other game, use this process of elimination. If this Pokemon has rocks and this one doesn't, or vice versa. If he only has 1 or 2 defoggers on his team, odds are this Pokemon has defog. If he doesn't have a win condition, odds are he's got a Toxic Spike or some sort of status spam. If he doesn't have a win condition or a status spam, odds are one of the Pokemon has a surprise setup move. Things like that. Find paths. Even if your team is fully walled, if you have something like Teleport Slowbro, that low-key is going to enable so many different openings as we see here. If you have something that has a variety of sets and he doesn't sure what they are, you have to play in a fashion to where you give off the impression that your set is more threatening than yours is if it's not threatening. Or you give off an impression if that's less threatening than actually is, so you bait something in. Use that. Condition your opponent to believe certain lines of plays, certain sets are going to be coming that aren't necessarily. Because they are almost always going to be in the back foot if you have enough momentum and your team isn't super passive. And you could use that to your advantage. you can make it so that they perceive things differently than they actually are. Yes, it's a bit of a psychological game, and yes, it does take some critical thinking, but the fact of the matter is, my team has Pheromosa, a Pokemon that's a very good Pokemon, but standalone is going to struggle against Stall when you see things like Toxapex and Clefable a ton, not to mention it faces Shedinja here, which even walls it when used in conjunction with Future Sight. So, okay, that's not great. It has Aegislash, which in this scenario was hard-walled by one of its Pokemon in Blissey, never breaking through Blissey. Unless I want to Steel Beam twice, and I've already chipped it down, which is basically a trade at best, and that's never happening because he's never letting the Blissey get low. Okay, useless. I have a Azumarill, which can only do well with support, and it will be put on a timer by Toxic Spikes and its predictor likes. If I knock off into, say, the wrong thing, then it's not really going to do a ton either, especially if the Future Sight's not looped. I have one Pokemon that can do offensive work, and it's reliant on Stone Edge. It takes Life Orb damage, and it's directly revenge killable by something that can switch into that Stone Edge, while also, struggling to get Rocks at the same time in the Garchomp. But through Slowbro being a catalyst for offensive momentum and really trying to feel out their sets using team preview analysis, I was able to break through the Stall team without losing a single Pokemon. In fact, not only did I not lose a Pokemon, but I only had 2 Pokemon below half health. Like, this was a very clean, decisive victory. And on top of that, yeah, sometimes it might take 50 or 75 turns, but this game only took 36. And sometimes if you have, great pivot combinations down, you have a bit more offensive firepower and a bit more defensive longevity, which ideally would be the case. This team was used to showcase a specific concept in a metagame. This was not the most optimal build, for example. So sometimes you have even more. You can end the game just like this. It's really not rocket science. Stall in general right now is at a low point in the metagame. So use the tools I've been presenting you guys with and your knowledge of the metagame and how to play out games in the long haul logically, and you'll find ways to win those games. It will. I promise you guys. It might take some hand-holding, and I'm always here to give you guys advice. It might take, some trial and error, but you can and will get there. So stay up, stay confident, and I really, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I wanted to go in depth on this game. I didn't really have another video idea planned for today. I was considering taking the day off, but I got this one replay I wanted to share, so I figured, why not? And also, I did get Rex on my OUTB Big Baller Brand alt that I was laddering on stream the other day, but I will do some more laddering on stream later this week because it seemed like it was a big hit. Maybe I'll be using something with Kartana to show off a thumbnail my boy Spot Loon made. Really big contributor to the channel, but yeah, just some general channel updates. If you guys, want to be accessible or want me to be accessible, great. You can find me on Twitter, link will be below, or Discord, link to the server will be below. In addition, in either January or February, I'm not sure yet, I'll be partnering up with a mental health organization to help raise money for mental health awareness. It's a very important topic to me, and I'm going to be giving you guys more details on that in the future, but I know most of you guys probably aren't capable of donating, and I completely understand, but if any of you guys are, and you guys want to keep your eyes open for that, great. If not, I totally understand. Don't worry, guys. A lot of stuff going on in the world, but I just want to spread awareness for that as well. And yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you all have a fun, great day. Middle of the week, we got work, we got school, whatnot. I totally get it. We're all on our grind, but take 10 minutes out of your day, really relax, take care of yourself. Have your favorite food, or work out, whatever you really gets you going, and stay safe. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate that you take your time out of your day to watch my videos, and I hope you all have a great one. All right. Bye-bye.